Okay, so I've seen that everyone giving Jimmy Fallon a lot of shit for his weird song and dance new COVID variant joke or whatever he wants to call that he did, and saying if what he was doing was actually comedy or just, weird ass propaganda. And I'm here to defend Jimmy Fallon by saying, when has he ever actually been funny, Jimmy Fallon? Like, why are y'all expecting comedy from him all of a sudden when all he literally does is laugh at himself before he could even say a joke? And then the joke he ends up saying isn't even funny. Like, I laughed way more at people dying in horrible amusement park ride accidents than actual quote-unquote comedy from him, I feel like the only good late-night hosts are David Letterman and Conan O'Brien. All the other ones suck lemons. And I mean, yeah, Johnny Carson was pretty funny, but those times were different, Back then, you could make fun of, punching women and smoking cigarettes on stage, so everything was just fucking hilarious back then, because no one had to hold their tongue with a joke. I mean, unless you were, like, a colored comic going on there, then you better not talk too much jive like a turkey or whatever they said back then. I know, what came out? That movie Megan, right? The movie Megan just came out, and apparently it's really good if you listen to what the Rotten Tomatoes score has to say. But honestly, do you or anyone actually go to the actual site RottenTomatoes.com? Like, who gives a fuck about these scores? There's a ton of movies that Rotten Tomatoes say suck, and I fucking love to death, the first movie that comes to mind I know is Pootie Tang. I'm pretty sure everybody universally hates the movie Pootie Tang, but God, that movie's the most funniest fucking thing in the world. It's so quotable. Sign your pity on the runny kind, Sadate, and I could watch that movie over and over again, never fucking get tired of it. That movie and Kung Pao Enter the Fist, I don't know, I know everybody probably hates them, but I fucking love those two movies. They're so fucking hilarious. Like, for me, naming two movies like that, you could see like my choice of humor might be. But again, what I'm trying to say is, who gives a fuck what a Rotten Tomato cares? What do they care? Unless you're making some big ass budget movie with The Rock and you promise to bring back a slumping DC universe, and the very next day you end up getting screwed over by Warner Brothers, worse than when Vince McMahon screwed Bret Hart. Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart. Which, have we talked about it yet? That Vince McMahon is wanting to come back to the WWE so he can sell his company. And dude, come on, man. He's like pretty close to the end of his life. Of course, maybe he did pay a couple of women for sex with the company money, which, yeah, of course is a big no-no, but he made this company from nothing, man. Like, you gotta respect that from him. And he paid those women well for their non-consenting and non-disclosure agreements, At least he didn't Ric Flair them and just helicopter his dick towards them like P.D. Pablo with a t-shirt, But hey, I'm not here to talk shit about Ric Flair. I love that fucking bastard. I guess if I did want to talk about sick fucks, I could talk about how in the news, Ron Jeremy, Ron Jeremy, one of the most famous porn stars, is trying to declare that he's impotent. No, I'm sorry, not impotent. I mean incompetent to stand trial for a supposed rape charge by playing the whole severe dementia ploy. Guess the Matrix fucked him over and he took the blue pill, right? Wait, is it the blue pill? Is the blue pill the bad one? Is it like Blue Chew? Come on, Blue Chew, sponsor my podcast. I can help y'all sell your poor man's Viagra, because we're all poor here at the That's All Funny offices. Very much so, including me. I can barely afford shit. Luckily for me, sex dolls are getting cheaper and cheaper. I saw a couple of articles saying that men had replaced the hole in their lives. Get it? Because women have holes. They replaced the hole in their lives with a woman, like with a sex doll, And I think one of them, his wife had passed away, so he decided to just get a doll that looked like her, and the other one was legit. Okay, he divorced his wife, so kind of lonely, so you get a sex doll, and shit. I can't blame them. Like, when you think, wow, okay, how much is this going to be, the sex doll? $3,000, or is it $9,000 if you add like, more bendable areas or pre-lubrication or curly hair or whatever a good sex doll goes for in this day and age? It sounds like a lot, but when you consider how when you have a real woman, you've got to feed it and keep it clean and buy it toys and stuff, then yeah, the budget for that balloons literally to the billions. Shit, even winning the Mega Millions jackpot, you'd be in the negative with having a real woman in your life. You should go with the Chinese alternative. It's always way cheaper. You could ask Ryan Gosling. He'll tell you the exact same thing. I mean it. Go ask Ryan Gosling. Go ask him right now. Speaking of actors, I don't know. I saw Jeremy Renner, what Hawkeye, he got royally fucked up by a snow plow machine, and he's still fucked up in the fucking hospital. You would think one of his Avenger buddies would visit him, but they'd probably think he was a Make-A-Wish kid and fucking get scared that he was legit about to die. But kind of funny or ironic that the weakest Avenger was the one that got fucked up so bad. Or do you think he was the weakest Avenger? Because, Hawkeye did kind of show up and do his part in Endgame, I know Hulk was like the biggest pussy there was in the Endgame, in Infinity War. Vision was pretty fucking weak too. But yeah, who cares about Marvel movies anymore anyways? They're pretty much old news. They're not doing very well in Rotten Tomatoes, are they? Unless they're all inclusive with the Asians and the coloreds and everything. But I do say the third Ant-Man does look pretty fucking badass, but that's because Paul Rudd is in it, and he's got the cure for never aging a bit, which he was great in Tim and Eric. I do love me some old classic Tim and Eric. You should look up the clip, Tim and Eric Celery Band, Paul Rudd on the YouTube, and you'll see Paul Rudd just doing his thing and being hilarious. He's pretty good in everything he does, though, except, you remember that movie I Love You Man that he did with Jason Segel? That was a pretty boring movie. Yeah, I remember having to go with this buddy of mine. He took me and it was just boring. He really wanted to see it, and I'm like, no, this was dumb. This was a dumb movie. Oh, that, and wasn't Paul Rudd in one of the remakes for the Halloween franchise? I heard he might have sucked in that movie too, but I don't know. Let's go and check Rotten Tomatoes, right? That'll give us all the answers to this shit. Now again, fuck Rotten Tomatoes. Who cares what the internet says, right? Besides, the internet is always wrong nowadays. At least that's what I'm told every time I log on to Twitter. Speaking of logging on to any of these social media sites, I saw that Seattle schools are suing all the big social media apps over youth's mental health crisis or something retarded like that. Okay, shouldn't these schools be more worried about drag shows that are corrupting the youth with, big old tits and simulated sex and all that? No, I don't know. I don't care about I don't care about that drag shows. They don't really mind me, but it's not like any of these things such as the drag shows or using social media apps that stuff should fall to the responsibility of the fucking parent of the child. If you're a parent and you don't want your kid doing something that you don't want them to do or being on a particular app, then just take care of it. Just delete it or just have them not do it. It's not hard. But you want to excuse what? Your laziness or lack of wanting to be a responsible parent by putting all the blame on the corporate giants that not only are you talking shit about them, but messing with your kids, that they mess with your kids, but the parents in the school systems are probably using the same apps. Like, I'm sure those same parents are looking up cat videos on TikTok or chicks twerking or moms breastfeeding because for some reason that isn't flagged content. You can have a woman with her tits showing and it'll get flagged, but if she's breastfeeding, that's perfectly fine. And God bless America for that I can see some nipples on an app and it not be flagged as inappropriate. Hallelujah. But yeah, look, parents, take better care of your kids, okay? Tell them to fucking say their prayers and eat their vitamins and don't do drugs or whatever slogans you want to take away here from today, Yeah, be responsible, be liable. Take responsibility for your kid just being a shitty kid. It's your fault, But yeah, I guess that's it today, y'all. Tell me one of your favorite movies that maybe the critics or everyone hates that you just love, that you would take all the Rotten Tomato hits for, I know I love Pootie Tang so much. It is so fucking good. I don't care what anyone says. And tell me how unfunny you think Jimmy Fallon is, because here's a real shocker. He was never funny. I don't know. I'm pretty sure we could find evidence that he was never funny. And yeah, I want to thank my newest Patreon members, Michael, Bob, and Rayanne. I appreciate everyone's support, y'all and everyone. Remember, guys, if you want, ad-free episodes and other early exclusives or whatever, head over to patreon.com/Lorenzo Ariola and, sign up. Go and tell me I'm a piece of shit. Tell me I'm doing great, whatever. I just enjoy everyone's feedback, and thank everyone for listening. And let's start this week here. Let's get it going and make it through it, okay? All y'all take care and have a great week. Thanks. Bye.